South of Point Clear, Boulevard St. John and Highway 20. Are you tired of stubbing your toe on your stinking walkway or pool patio? Don't lifting and stabilization of pool patios, sheds, roads, walkways, garages, and more. And they offer free evaluations and financing options to fit your budget. Visit acton.ca. That's AKTON.ca. To learn more about their services and to schedule your free evaluation today. Acton Injection, the concrete and foundation specialist, serving the Montreal community for over 40 years. Call Acton Montreal Now is brought to you by Dormez-vous. Give yourself the gift of great sleep with a new mattress, sheet bed, and more at the Boxing League event at Dormez-vous. On now. You're listening to the Voice of Montreal. News Talk Radio, CJAD 800. And iHeartRadio station. Good afternoon, it's 4:01. I'm Jason Mayoff for the CJAD
predominant, so that's good news. And heading into our weekend, it looks like the temperatures continue to be on the colder side. Saturday we're seeing -7 as our high. Typically would be around -2 this time of year. Sunshine now for Saturday. Sunday we're calling for a mix of sun and clouds. Then we head closer to seasonal with -3. Looking ahead to next week, though, I think you'll be happy about this. We see those temperatures above seasonal once again, so we're going to be seeing a high of 2 on Monday, 7 on Tuesday. With to that 7, we'll see a few showers, but it's better than snow, I think.
Hold on, where's the snow? it reminded me, and I'm not trying to equate the two, but it reminded me, this response from the government reminded me of the decision of the city of Montreal to sort of like clam up about the E-race. Remember how well that worked? Not telling you, no, we
How many tickets did we sell?
we can't let you know, you can't compromise. It's like completely ridiculous. And this is the kind of stuff where whether it's, people like us and our listeners who are never fans of Francois Legault, but your average Quebecers going to look at this and go, that's good too. I mean, redactions for a set. Because why? Because they know it was a complete embarrassment. It was a complete mistake. But we're not going to share that information with you because because it was Quebec Nord who was the third party providing the figures. We can't do that without their consent and of course being quiet because maybe all this is going on at the Videotron Center, Aaron. That might be one of the reasons why they're a bit reticent to let us know about the figures. This is how things are working in the marvelous magic nation of Francois Legault. And once again, it's not scary. It's just kind of sad.
I had the president of the Quebec Order of Bishops on talking about this whole Francois Legault situation with banning prayer.
Yeah.
And I remember we talked about this just the other day, right? And the idea was, if you're going to deflect, if you're going to look for, as we say, a scapegoat here's your scapegoat. But I have not seen anybody beyond his own ministers come out and say, well, this is something we should look at. It's maybe not a bad idea. It's been universal across the board.
Absolutely.
What are you doing? This is a stupid idea.
Of course it's stupid because people have, I'm sorry, people have figured out Francois Legault. Not that it was a real puzzle, but the fact of the matter is people have figured out Francois Legault. They realize that when he does this, he is treating the people around him like idiots. He's treating the people who support him as idiots, saying, listen, you guys are under siege. We know you're too cowardly and frightened and whatever. We'll look after you. Don't ask too many questions. Just let me legislate this away. I'll use the notwithstanding clause. I'll do whatever I want, and I'll look after you all. The problem is it doesn't work anymore. He's got the poll results to prove it. And as I keep saying, I despair, like in over the next nearly 2 years, how stupid is this entire story going to get? Plus, how expensive is it going to be for the rest of us to keep feeding the ego of Francois Legault and the myth of this so-called Coalition Avenir Québec, where it seems, people are slowly but surely and in a very orderly line, Aaron, heading towards the lifeboats.
Well, let me turn to a story here. I know this wasn't something we were going to talk about, but I was driving by here today because I come into work every day the same way, past what used to be the Molson Brewery here.
Yeah.
Big announcement yesterday by the city, by the developers. 5,000 housing units to be built on that site. But the questions here, and here we go again with details, right? I thought I heard the developer, this is Montoni, right, say that they plan to start by 2025. It takes 2 years to get a building permit in the city. How are they going to start doing anything there by 2025? Are we being a little sort of, I don't know, too optimistic?
Psychotically optimistic?
Yeah.
Are those the ones you're looking for? Yeah, indeed. And in fact, when I saw the announcement, it speaks volumes about, I guess I've been doing this for too long, but I looked at this and said, what stumbling block, what public consultation, what special, interest group is going to turn around and put the brakes on this as well? What's going to happen here to screw this up? And like you say, 2025, I'll believe it when I see it. But quite frankly, I don't think I'm going to see it.
And I would ask the question, and I don't want to be like Debbie Downer here, but we know what's happened in the past. Developers look around, right? You commit to the city to go ahead and fulfilling your mandate of 20% of social and affordable housing. And then at the end of the day, oops, something came up. We can't do that. We'll pay the fine, write a check, and walk away.
And can you imagine?
Are we looking at the same thing here? I mean, how much?
Sure,
and I saw city officials say, no. They've committed to doing this, and it's going to get done, which is what they said every other time as well.
Here's the fun part: 2025 is an election year, so it depends. In Montreal, you have two ways you can go. You can either campaign on saying, "I'm going to make sure this project goes through for once." Or you can turn around and say, no, I'm going to subject this to the usual microscopic scrutiny that we look at everything, and we will delay this, and we'll have maybe even dust off a special place right alongside the Cavendish file, and we'll just keep looking at it that way. That's the way things work in this town, and it breaks my heart to say it, but this is something we should be really celebrating. Everyone seems optimistic, but I just got a bad feeling about it, boss.
All right, I want to ask you the one last thing that we started our show with today, our question of the day. I brought this back because it generated a bit of interest last week, and I thought, and by virtue of the phone calls and texts we got, it went kind of crazy. Jagmeet Singh, leader of the NDP, party of the, I don't know how you want to frame the NDP.
The working stick.
Working for the little man.
Yeah.
And turns out the head of the party gets into a Maserati SUV leaving Parliament Hill. This is not the first time, Jagmeet Singh has sort of had those eyes focused on him. He had that Versace bag. He's got the Rolex watch. His wife wore this dress when he was trying to introduce a luxury tax. And I'm asking the question, basically, is this any of our business? Or, as some callers said, you know what? You have to practice what you preach. If you're leading that party and this is what you're showing, how are we supposed to believe in anything you're selling? What do you think?
I think it's ridiculous. I mean, the guy, the guy had his money before he got involved in this. He was also a criminal defense lawyer. But, I mean, the guy lives a certain way. I mean, plenty of people in the NDP could have turned around and said, this is preposterous, look at him. But I'm sorry, do we have to play dress up to be an effective political leader in this country? Does he have to show up wearing jeans and carrying a lunch bucket and maybe a hard hat under his arm so he can pretend he's part of, the working class? Right now, the working class would like somebody to make them a bit richer. So if somebody has the skills to do that, or to look after that class, which quite frankly, I mean, say what you will about Jagmeet Singh, he says some pretty silly things, but you can't say he's turned his back on his constituency. But if you're going to turn around, like the Tories are going, he's a Maserati Marxist and this and that, that's just another catchphrase they use. The fact of the matter is, I think it's got zero to do with how much money you have, because God knows Pierre Poilievre isn't exactly a Joe lunch bucket, and if he turned around tomorrow and decided to collect his pension, he'd be richer than you or me. Yes, even you, Aaron. So it's like everyone just stop treating people like idiots and say, well, it depends how you look, it depends how you dress up. That's absolutely preposterous.
That's the question I'm going to ask when we come back, Jim. It's great that you came in. It's really nice to see you.
It was great, and the joint hasn't changed, except for this chair, which doesn't work.
Hey, help yourself to any of the refreshments that we offer here.
A complimentary bag of chips and or soft drink?
Yeah, it's in a drawer somewhere. I'm sure it's from this year, too.
Yeah.
James Menny from the Montreal Gazette, 420. Let's go to traffic. CJD 800 Traffic Center. Check on the roads. Here's Lauren Glazer. Lauren?
Aaron, we're having a difficult time northbound 13 between the airport tunnel and Henri Bourassa, again between St. Rose and the 640. For southbound 13, also delays. Courtly to the 20 on the westbound side of the 20. It's a tough drive between Turcotte and Norman. Delays now before Woodland all the way into D'Oriol. Eastbound side of the 20 has volume 55th at the First Avenue. Outbound side of the Mercier Bridge, the volume starting inside the Ville-St. Gary interchange. Delays on the westbound side of the Met now between Lac-Cordaire and DeCarry for the westbound side of the Tecan. Very busy after St. Charles runs out to the Illitorp Bridge. The earlier stall before the span has been cleared out. Park like a boss with the Park and Fly app. Reserve, scan, park, pay, and go at the touch of a button. Download the Park and Fly app today. Let us know what you see on the roads. Call in your tips to Star 800. Your next report at 4:30.
I'm just helping Jim get out of the door. It weighs about 300 pounds, our door here at the airlock. All right, listen, I want to get back to what we just asked Jim about. So stick around a sec. Traffic, of course, is brought to you by the Coffee Gourmet Center. I reminded you, they have a holiday coffee gift collection, which is an ideal gift for any coffee lover that you happen to know. 514-631-1131. That's 631-1131, the Coffee Gourmet Center. So the story is this: NDP leader Jagmeet Singh coming under scrutiny, maybe fairly, maybe unfairly, after having been spotted getting into a luxury Maserati SUV. First thing I didn't know, Maserati makes SUVs. Go no. They do. Nice cars. This happened on Parliament Hill, but what's particularly interesting here is that he and his office, no one in his office, chose to comment on this, on whether he owns the car, someone belongs to a family member. It was just trying to deflect and get away from the question, which again, to me, depending on, where you sort of weigh in on this, why wouldn't you just say either yes or no? No, it doesn't. And try to stop avoiding the question, which right away makes people think, wait a sec, what's really going on here? So no real comment. And what does that do? It serves to fuel even more speculation, even more criticism, right? Now, of course, this is not the first time Jagmeet Singh's lifestyle choices have been questioned. In the past, he has faced backlash for everything from carrying a luxury Versace bag worth a few $1,000 to owning and wearing a Rolex. His wife wore a $1,100 dress during a maternity shoot, which, guess what, happened to coincide with the NDP's promotion of a luxury goods tax. Some people are suggesting that his personal image and the working class values that he champions are at odds because of this. So my question to you today is simply, what do you think? You heard what Jim Menny thinks. One's got nothing to do with the other. It's none of our damn business. But what do you think? Is it fair to scrutinize a political leader's personal lifestyle choices, such as driving a luxury car, wearing expensive clothing and accessories, while the party they represent is advocating for economic equity and working class values? Does it maybe even serve to detract from real political issues because of that? Or is it a valid concern, a valid critique, when a leader's authenticity within his own party's principles seem to be in opposition? Or, as I said, at the end of all of this, is it absolutely no one's business how the leader of the NDP chooses to lead his personal life? And if you're an NDP voter, does this matter to you at all? Has he sort of betrayed you by virtue of doing these sorts of things? Working for the average man? Driving a $100,000 vehicle? Wearing a $10,000 watch? Carrying a $2,000 bag? Does that bother you at all? As one caller said, you know what? You got to practice what you preach. Or is that not valid? And at the end of the day, it's none of our business. What do you think? 790-0800, 514-790-0800 for your texts when we come back.
Montreal Now is brought to you by Dormez-vous. Give yourself the gift of great sleep with a new mattress, sheet set, and more at the Boxing Week event at Dormez-vous. On now.
Bronofco Fire and Flood Restoration Specialists. They work for you. Call them for a second opinion. It's free. 514-856-9993. Bronofco.com.
This is Sam Watts. Welcome Home Mission has responded to people in need for over 130 years. And this winter, we're going to need your help more than ever. There has been a major increase in the number of people without food and shelter in our city, and many who struggle are invisible. No child should be hungry, and everyone deserves access to a safe, permanent place to call home. This holiday season, please continue to help us help Montrealers in need. Together, we can make a difference. Please give generously today at welcomehomemission.com.
Want to end the year in style? Mazda's offering you 90 days without monthly finance payments on the 2024 Mazda CX-5 and CX-50 models. Yes, 90 days of joy and freedom thanks to 90 days without monthly payments. So you can have a wonderful holiday season. Plus, enjoy financing from 1.5% up to 36 months. Hurry, the 2024 Mazda CX-5 and Mazda CX-50 models are waiting for you now. Offer ends December 31st.
Does the thought of a vasectomy scare you more than having another baby? I'm Dr.